Hello, detectives. Welcome to the first episode of the Deception Detective podcast. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to spot a sadist. Specifically, we're going to look at a compilation video made by Tesmosis of Ruby Frank's worst moments. If you're not familiar with Ruby Frank, she's a YouTuber. She ran a family channel called 8 Passengers, and she was recently arrested for child abuse. So we're going to watch this compilation and see how we could have detected the warning signs that she's a sadist. And this will be useful for you in spotting sadists in your own life so you can avoid them. Let's dig in.
Hey folks, today we're going to take a closer look at the most emotionally violent and horrific moments from the 8 Passengers vlogs. From this case, we can get a clear example of what exactly psychological warfare within a family unit looks like. Ruby Frankie is obviously on the more extreme end of the spectrum of that, to the point we could almost call it psychological terrorism. This video is for educational purposes, and I must warn you in advance, there are some absolutely devastating moments. Although there was no apparent physical violence in the vlogs, the manipulative and narcissistic demands of Ruby are sure to leave a lasting effect on these children that they'll need to work out in therapy for years to come. Also, before we dive into it, pay close attention to how frequently Ruby's smiling and laughing into the camera. So very pleased with her new and inventive ways of tormenting these kids. Like she's getting a thrill out of exercising the control, and the viewer is her approving partner in crime.
So Tesmosis, who I recommend you go follow, I've definitely given him a follow, and I've also linked this video in the description below. One of the things he noticed is that Ruby seems to really enjoy tormenting the kids, and that is why I believe she's a sadist. And the hallmarks of a sadist are that they enjoy harming others, whether it's psychological or physical. And specifically, they enjoy humiliating them, and they like doing it publicly. The second thing that makes a sadist truly sick is that there's no secondary gain. In other words, Liver King lied because he was trying to sell supplements, right? He was saying he was natural, but his supplements could make you big and bulky like him, but he was lying to sell products. Or Amber Heard, right, was lying to win a lawsuit against Johnny Depp. But sadists enjoy harming other people simply for the enjoyment they derive from it, right? So they do it for their own pleasure. And I think that's why Tesmosis is so shocked that she's smiling in so many of these clips. So let's dig in.
Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry. And hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
Mom, can you give me some breakfast?
You don't need food.
I do.
Everything that comes into this house belongs to who?
No,
Belongs to me.
because I really won't get anything for summer. I won't be able to go anywhere. No, I don't have any friends. No iPads, no TV, nothing.
I cannot wait to hug them and to smell them and to lick them.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple of weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
I've been sleeping on a beanbag since October. And they gave my room back like 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'll give you the reason why I lost my bedroom. I think so. I think this is the reason. At least this is the reason that's been in my head. It's pretty funny, but now that I look back, it was pretty depressing.
No, we never told our viewers.
That I woke Russell up at 2 in the morning and told him that we're going to Disneyland and he has to pack. And he got up and made his bed all neatly and then packed all his clothes in the suitcase. And then he walked out the door and I'm like, Russell, he was like, what? And he's all happy. Has his sunglasses on.
Do you think it's funny? Because
And then I walk out.
if you think it's funny, then that was 7 months ago. Maybe you need longer without a bedroom.
It was not funny.
Russell got the big bedroom and Chai got the smaller bedroom. And Russell's bigger bedroom also had a bathroom. But what you guys didn't know was Chad didn't get any room. He didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room. Abby, we took the phone away from Abby in November. And you may never get the phone back.
Probably not.
So there's a difference between a strict disciplinarian mother and a sadist. And the way to tell that Ruby is a sadist rather than just a tiger mom is that she's punishing the children and they don't know why, right? So it's not like she's trying to teach a lesson by taking the boy's room away, or like she's trying to teach a lesson by taking the daughter's phone away, right? The son didn't know why his room was taken away, and the daughter doesn't know whether she'll get her phone back or not because there's nothing she can do to correct what she did wrong, right? It's not like she got bad grades and her mother took her phone away until she gets A's or until she does her homework. The room was taken away, the phone was taken away, and it seems arbitrary to the children, and that's because it was done just for Ruby's pleasure, right? She enjoys inflicting the punishment. There's no lesson to be taught, right? There's no reason behind it besides her own pleasure. Let's keep watching.
No, I have no friends.
You can play with friends.
No, like I don't have friends.
I don't have friends either.
I literally like told my friends I'm not hanging out with them.
Because they're
They say some pretty messed up stuff.
I don't even know where they live. They're pretty far away.
So, summer goal, become the best athlete I possibly can.
We're gonna go see Despicable Me 3, but before we do, I'm gonna make sure these kids have something good to eat. So, Boston, get in line.
I'm first.
Everyone get in line. Here we go. You get back there.
So we're gonna go.
I love that I can talk to my nephews that way. Get in line. Now go back to the back of the line. Get in line. Now go back to the back of the line. I'm not mad at you. I think it's funny. It's okay. Julie took 5 boxes of mac and cheese and took the mix and made it look like orange juice. I am asking you to make lunch for the family. Hey, do it with a happy face. There you go. Thank you. Eve, jump in. Massage my back. Get rubbing. Okay, massage my back. Get scratching. Scratch my head. Come on, you gotta earn your keep. You don't get breakfast if you don't massage my back.
You're so mean.
Okay. Get up there and scratch. I guess you don't get food today.
And I'll die.
Yes, you'll die.
I feel like Sherry thinks she's the mother of her siblings.
It's true.
It's really annoying.
I agree.
I do too. Like, and it's something I'm really working on. Like, I've been trying. Like, I've physically forced myself to not say anything, like, even if it bugs me. Yeah.
So this clip is particularly important. One sign that children have been neglected is when they're inappropriately mature for their age. Right. So here, I think this must be one of the daughters is saying that she's like the mother of her siblings, which tells me that she's been playing the motherly role since a young age. And typically when you find something like that, it means that the children have been neglected. And later in this compilation, I watched through it once, Ruby does admit to being a neglectful mother. So one way to tell a sadist or a liar or a sociopath is they will actually tell you it themselves as long as you listen, right? So in that earlier clip, when she was bizarrely having the kids line up and take a bite of a banana on camera, she said that she enjoys being able to give them marching orders and humiliate them, right? So one thing to do for any statement analyst is take people at face value, listen to what they actually say. Let's keep listening.
Yeah. Stop! Don't do that! What are you doing?
Is that on?
Yes!
So hold on. We got to do a little update here for a second.
I have therapy and I got kicked out of my school. Woo!
Okay.
I have acne still.
Everybody's asking if you still have your phone taken away for the summer.
Yep, I do.
Yes.
Sadly.
And
It's not her fault. It's mine.
when will you learn, Chad? Actions have consequences. A lot of you guys say,
Oh, you shouldn't get mad at them for bad grades. They try their hardest. You, on the
I
other
did not
end,
try my hardest.
don't know that he
Cheated on a
tried
test.
his hardest.
Is that Sister Jensen?
So, no, I want to tell you this. No, listen. I talked to the principal of the school today.
8 passengers. Sorry, someone just yelled 8 passengers out the window. Little Japan, little back.
Okay, are you okay? Listen, I talked to the principal today, and
Did he accept me back?
no.
Okay, good.
Okay, let me get 5 words in before you start talking and flopping your yap. Okay, listen. I talked to the principal. He wanted me to tell you he loves you, and he was very sad to see that you weren't coming back. The reason you're not going back to that school is because you chose not to.
Yep. I really did not want to go back.
The agreement was you can come back if you're humble and if you really want to be here.
I really did not want to be there.
The honest truth is, he's not humble and he doesn't want to be there. So,
Look at that.
if you listen, oh my gosh, listen. If you change your mind and you realize what you're missing out on and you humble yourself, you are welcome back to the school.
I really don't want to go back to that school.
I know. I'm just letting you know that that is an option.
Because I can be with these dudes.
But I do still expect you to be honest.
Responsible and humble.
We'll work on the humble.
So I'm not surprised that the mother's more interested in making him humble than honest and responsible, right? Because humility comes from someone belittling or humiliating you or punishing you, right? And that's what she enjoys. So making him humble, I'm sure, is the most enjoyable aspect of her discipline. Let's keep watching.
You still need to work on being humble.
Okie dokie.
I love you.
Thank you for joining our yoga session and our stretching session. I really hope you enjoyed this and learned something. Please subscribe, and I know you can't comment below, but please like the video, and I hope you learned something, and have a nice day.
Go back to what you were doing after your call. No, not right there, Mom. Ow, Mom, stop.
To leave the house clean, and my kids are literally starving. I hesitate to say this because it's going to sound like I'm like a mean barbarian, but I told the kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done. That was my motivating drive. It is my motivating drive for creating this content. I was a hugely disconnected, selfish, aggressive, neglectful mother. Entitled. I wanted my kids to be happy, which AKA translated into, I want my kids to get off my back because I want to do what I want to do. I want to be able to go to Target. I want to be able to shop. I want to be able to have a moment of silence where I can just think. It was all about me. And I made my kids responsible for that. And so I allowed them to have what they wanted. About a year ago, my daughter was saying her prayers. Eve, she was 6 years old at the time. And she was saying her prayers and she said the cutest thing. I thought it was so cute. And I started laughing. She said, "Dear Heavenly Father, please help me to survive." And I thought it was so cute and it just took me off guard and I kind of giggled a little. That was an experience for her and she melted. She melted. She was angry and she started crying. And
so that last clip is very concerning. And I actually think it's a confession of child abuse. So one of the main skills of a statement analyst is to actually listen to what people say, not the picture they're trying to create, right? So for example, in my Meghan Markle video, she said they were staying at a guest house. But in reality, they were staying at, I think it was called Rideau Gate. I would have to rewatch my video, which was a huge mansion, right? So she was trying to paint the picture of them being in a small, modest home in order to garner sympathy from her listeners, right? So people don't lie as much as you expect. Typically what they do is they sort of obfuscate, they sort of bury the truth. So in this story, if we listen to what Ruby actually said, she said that her daughter was angry and crying, that she, Ruby, was giggling about it, right? So her daughter crying and being angry made her giggle, and that at one point her daughter asked God to help her survive. So she painted this as a cute little vignette, but if you actually listen to what she said and think about the circumstances, why would the daughter be crying? And then why would she be asking God to help her survive rather than her mother? And then why would the mother be laughing about that and thinking it's cute? One explanation, and I think this whole compilation helps support my hunch here, is that the daughter was asking God to help her survive because it was the mother who was inflicting the pain, whether it was psychological or physical. So this little vignette, which the mother paints as cute, if you actually think about it, paints a very, very dark picture, a picture where a daughter's literally screaming for help to survive, and the mom is giggling and giddy about that. And she's giggling and giddy about it because she's a sadist, right? She enjoys the suffering of others.
And we lived in a townhouse, and there were a lot of stairs that went up to my bedroom, and the family room was down a long flight of stairs. And I put my two children, my almost 6-year-old, she's probably 5, and then Chad, my 3, almost 4-year-old, on a couch, and I put on a movie, and I said, I am going to go lay down. Do not move from your couch. You got your blanket, you've gone to the bathroom, the doors were locked and bolted, and I said, I'm going to go lay down. I'm going to lay your sister down for a nap, the baby, and I'm going to go lay down. And when I come down, I will get some lunch for everybody, or a snack, or whatever it was. So they were fed, they were full, they were emptied, and so I thought, okay, everything's good. And I made it very clear. I said, do not, under any circumstance, go into the kitchen. Do not go into the kitchen. You just stay right there and watch the movie for an hour. And I went upstairs and laid down. And an hour later, I came downstairs, and the movie was still going, and they were sitting on the couch, and they were cuddled in their blankets. I thought, oh, good. They did what they were told. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so relieved. Okay, so I went into the kitchen to start preparing some food. And as I walked on the floor, my feet went, they stuck. They stuck. I'm like, my foot is stuck to the floor. And as I lifted my foot up off the floor, it went, like you could hear the stickiness. I could hear it with my ears. I thought, oh my gosh, what is on this floor?
So Ruby finishes that story later, and you can already imagine what the payoff is, right? What mother leaves their 3 and 5-year-old alone for an hour to take a nap, and then is surprised that the toddler's made a mess, right? Especially think about if you've ever dealt with a small child. If you tell them not to do something, right? Don't play with that toy, or don't go in the kitchen. You're planting that seed in their head, and it's much more likely that they will go do the very thing you asked them not to do. And this seems to be, right, we're going to find out later when she finishes the story that the kids ended up making a mess, predictably. And this seems to be the theme of the channel and the way that Ruby gets her kicks. She takes 3 parts. She puts the children in a situation where they will do something wrong. Right here, she left a 3 and a 5-year-old alone for an hour and told them and enticed them about something in the kitchen. Step number 2, the children mess up, right? The children do exactly what we would expect. They mess up because she set them up for failure. And then step 3, the punishment. And this is the part that Ruby enjoys. This is where she set them up for failure, they screwed up, and now she gets to exact some creative punishment. And I've never watched any of their videos. I wish I had known about this channel 7 months ago before I took my break from YouTube, because it would have been a beautiful prediction that she would get arrested for child abuse, right? My Liver King prediction was right. My prediction about Logan Paul, his apology being phony, him not paying his crypto-zoo investors, that was right. As soon as Nadia gets banned from Warzone, I think I'll be proven correct on that. But this would have been a layup because she's very predictable, and this is more common than you might expect. Abusive mothers do exist, and this is how they operate, right? This is a typical textbook sadist. Let's keep listening.
Nothing to eat?
Yeah, I need to go to the store. Stop. Just stop.
It's true.
Just stop. No, that is not true. Can you see all the food going on in the kitchen today? I am going to the grocery store this afternoon.
Oh my goodness, let me finish. She's talking for me.
You told me that you don't eat breakfast, and you don't eat lunch.
Let me talk. You asked a question, and then you all went and attacked me.
And there was a time, I'll find the photo. I had just had Russell, and Julie was just crying a lot and whining. And one day I looked at her and I'm like, you just stink. She had like peed her pants or something. And it was just because she was being neglected, because I was totally paying attention to the new baby. And I thought, you know what?
Because I really won't get anything for summer. I won't be able to go anywhere. No, I don't have any friends. No iPads, no TV, no.
I have been full-time. You wonder where I've been on my vlogs? You wonder why I left YouTube? It's to save my kids. No amount of money. I'm telling you, I was making millions. And I left it because my kids were being hurt. With entitlement, they were being hurt. With people's advice, and they didn't have a mother up the front saying, I don't care what the world's opinion is. This is the truth, and this is where I stand. And fortunately, I had a chance. I had them in my home long enough to do it, and I'm not going to lose them. They're seeing truth. They're accepting truth. They're loving truth. And so this is my passion, is to invite you to stand in truth and put your opinions to the side for a minute. Because your kids are the target of distortion.
And I took another step and my foot stuck and went like it was like just sticking on the floor. And I thought, what is this? So I did what any mother would do. You know what I'm going to say, young moms? I knelt down on the floor and I smelt it. And I couldn't quite tell. And I stuck my tongue out and I licked the floor. I'm like, this is pineapple juice. What in the world? How did pineapple juice get on the floor? And everywhere I walked, my foot stuck to the floor. And I thought, what? How? I'm trying to put the pieces together. Like, what happened? So I called my two kids and I said, come here. And they came over and I said, do you guys know why this floor is sticky? No, we don't know. And I said, this floor was absolutely clean before I went upstairs. I went upstairs for an hour and I came down and now it is covered. There is something that's going on, and one of you or both of you knows something and you're not telling me. And I'm going to stand here until you do.
I'm going to go get dressed.
So it's a shame that clip was cut off early, but that was the payoff, right? That was the beginning of the payoff from her earlier clip. She set up the children for failure. They did exactly what she expected them to do. And then she relishes every part of punishing them. Even here, you can tell her excitement about interrogating the children. And this is typical sadistic behavior. Another part of a true sadist is the public humiliation, right? So it's not just private humiliation where they're making someone feel bad in private. It's much more satisfying to them to do it in public. So I'm not surprised that she made a YouTube channel to publish her inventive punishments of her children. And I'm sure lots of people that watch the channel derive pleasure from watching the children get punished. It's almost like on Twitter when you see a pile on, when there's the target of the week and everyone's piling on. Most of the people who are piling on are just sadistic, right? They enjoy the pile on. When it's public, it's much more satisfying. And also, while I took a break from YouTube, I saw lots of stuff that concerned me. For example, on TikTok, there was a trend where couples would point their camera at their partner and say something about wanting to cheat on them or talking about a previous boyfriend or girlfriend in front of them and capturing their reaction. And that is a sadistic thing to do. That public humiliation means you're dealing with a sadist. And my recommendation is get as far away from them as you can. And if you haven't seen my video on Amber Heard, if you encounter someone like her, I'd get as far away from her as you can. Same with Meghan Markle. If someone's a manipulator and trying to paint themselves as a victim and distort your view of reality, you need to get as far away from them as you can, right? So psychopaths, sadists, and manipulators, right? All right, let's keep watching.
That's for football.
You're gonna have to go find your shorts. Oh, did you see the socks you threw at the side of the garden? And you are not going anywhere unless you pick up your junk. You've got crap thrown all around. No, so you see, now I'm using bad language. That's how bad of a mood I'm in. You get your socks picked up and don't you leave your stuff out anymore.
Where?
Right over there. Run and go pick them up. And then give me 10 push-ups. Put them in your pocket so you can take them down to the hamper and drop and give me 10.
1.
Put your hands straight out. They're in. They're not supposed to be out. Shape your hands forward. There you go. 1, 2. Down further. Bring your butt down.
Ooh.
If you cut one more thing in my house, I'm going to take the scissors, look at me, and I'm going to cut its head off.
Grandma, you're so mad.
So what are you going to do?
And just quickly, think of the setup here. She gives the little girl scissors, right? So that's act 1 in these videos. The little girl cuts something. That's act 2. And then act 3, the little girl gets punished. Why not just take the scissors away, right? Why set the condition to a toddler that she needs to contain herself and not cut one more thing, right? I have not watched any of their YouTube channels, videos. I don't know I think the channel's been taken down, but from the clips I've seen here, that seems to be the 3 acts of every punishment video. And this is her setting up the failure so that she can punish this little girl, right? It seems to be her niece here because that looks like her sister coming in to hug her. Also, if I'm right about this 3-act thing, please let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see if that's how these videos typically play out.
Are you gonna cut anything else? No.
You promise? Look, 2 days ago was preschool. Eve slept in. She's notorious for sleeping in. And she woke up and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to wake her up because every time I wake her up, she gets super grumpy and upset and I have to literally drag her and get her dressed. And she's old enough to do that herself. And she missed preschool. She slept in and she woke up and she's like, I'm ready to go to preschool. I said, you know what? Preschool's over. You slept through it. I'm sorry. And she's like, what? And I said, you need to get up and get ready if you're going to go to preschool because I'm not going to drag you out.
Can you give me some breakfast?
You don't need food. Stop crying or I'm going to have you go upstairs and you won't have any breakfast.
And final note here, the withholding of food is another sadistic punishment, right? These are children. They rely on their mother for food. All right. I've seen about enough of this as I can watch. We watched about half of it together here. If you want me to finish the rest of it, let me know and we can commentate on it. If you have any other people who I should be investigating who have popped up or any of my old arch nemesis who have resurfaced, I know Liver King just made a new video. Let me know in the comments what you want to see. Until next time, stay true.